This is what I think. In my mind, I'm like, PS4 came out in 2013. Forgive the math. It is 2022. I know it is not 9 years technically because I believe it came out in November. So we're a few months short of the 9-year anniversary of the PS4. But I'm excited that it is going to continue to be made, and I'm grateful that most. Forgive me, I'm not the most knowledgeable, but I think every PS5 game can also be played on a PS4. So all I'm saying is I'm the kind of person who does my Christmas shopping in summer. So if I was buying someone a console, specifically myself, because I usually buy myself a gift, this is what I would buy. So this is why I'm making this video, because I realized, I don't know who is going to watch my videos. All I know is I'm going to watch my videos. And if I ask myself, what console would I buy in June of 2022? This is what I would buy. Oh, it's out of stock. Dang, it's out of stock. But I think you can get refurbished ones. But still, for $2.99. If all I'm saying is, if I saw a PS4 on the shelf and I saw a Xbox Series S, I know I'm a PlayStation fanboy. I've only owned the original PlayStation and the PS4. So maybe I'm not the best, most informed person. And I had an original Xbox, but all I'm saying is if I'm going into the store right now, and this is all hypothetical because this isn't even in stock either. No, but you can get refurbished ones, so that's what I would do, I believe. Let me see. Is there a refurbished section? It is amazing to me that almost 9 years later, the PlayStation 4 is going strong. I could have swore there was a refurbished section. Here, maybe not. Maybe I'm just not the best on the internet. No, so what I was trying to sillily, I don't know if that's an even word, but what I was trying to do was trying to draw a distinction. Because I'm the kind of person who, I'm keeping it real. When I asked my wife to buy me a PS4, the the PS4 Pros had been out for a while, but you couldn't get a hold of those. So this is pretty much, I think, in my opinion, the console that everyone kind of got who really wanted one, but couldn't get, didn't have the time or the energy or the extra funds to really acquire it. Because at the end of the day, if you really want something, you're gonna get it, right? But my point is, I don't feel like I'm missing out. If someone bought me this console right here today, I don't feel like I would be missing out, because I could still play almost every single game, and I'm still having an enjoyable experience. It's just, the graphics aren't the highest detail, but I'm okay with that because I'm still having a good time. And that's the only point I wanted to make, is that 9 years later, this is still, in my opinion, the best console you could buy. And this is the only reason why I say, because you can play DVDs or Blu-ray discs. Now, obviously, the Switch, I think is I have a Switch. We have two, but if you want a console and you don't really necessarily care if it's mobile, and all I'm saying is this is what I would buy. If someone was asking me, granted no one's asking me, but if I was asking myself, this is what I would buy. And I'm excited because in 3 days, PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus merge. No, but this was the point of my video. Long story short, there's a pre-order for this watch, the MRG-B5000BA. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, if I had the funds, I would pre-order this. I think it's like $4,000 or something like that. But I thought to myself, I was like, well, I'm sure I'm not the only one. And I'm like, well, does the person who gets excited about this watch, does that person also get excited for a PlayStation 4 re-release? Does that? I do. So I'm like, is there anyone else like that gets excited for these high-end G-Shocks? But also it's like, you know what? PlayStation 4 is kind of hardware, but it's also a work of art. It really is. I know when you look at the exterior, like, it's not a big deal, but, it really was an achievement. Just like these watches, I do appreciate mine. So, granted, it's not the MRG, it's not the Mr. G, but I still like it. I like a metal G-Shock. To me, it hits home with that nostalgia vibe. So thank you. I love you. That's the end of my video. If you want to watch, in my opinion, and you don't care about cost, this is what I would buy. If you want a console and you don't want to pay like 2 or 3 times the price of what it should cost you, this is what I would buy. No, but first of all, look, I was on that list to get a PS5. I got the email just like everyone else, and I just didn't get one. But you know what? I'm sad, a little sad, because it would be nice to have a PS5, but I'm not really sad, if I'm being honest, because I upgraded my hard drive. Now I can fit more games on my PS4, and I was playing God of War, and I'm like, this is still it's still fun. It's still, I think sometimes people get caught up too much in thinking that the latest and greatest is going to make the experience better, and I don't think that's true. I think if you're not having fun on a PS4, you're probably not going to have fun on a PS5. That's just really what it comes down to. And I think the PS4 is still a powerhouse, in my opinion. It's so funny. I can't remember. Well, it was on UFD Tech, but I remember they were talking about how this was a long time ago, but there was some data mining warehouse like in the Ukraine that had like all these PS4s. It was like 2,000 PS4s, and they were just like crypto mining. And I'm like, dude, that's a testament of how powerful a PS4. And here's my thing. All I'm saying in my little fairy tale world, I wouldn't stop. I would have the previous generation console continue to be made as long as this generation console is being produced, because if someone asks me, I think the PS4 actually saved the console industry, because the reality is not everyone has $500 to buy a console, and then that's $500 plus, if you want extra controllers, the headset, camera. I mean, you're looking at a couple $100 in expenses. So now you're looking at close to $1,000, and that's if you hypothetically were able to find a PS5 at retail, which is very few people. So all I'm saying is, seeing a PlayStation 4 on the shelf for $250 to $300, that's something that most people can afford, and you can get used controllers, or it's been around for almost a decade. It's what's attainable for most people, and I think that's what's important at the end of the day, is that having a console is better than having no console. So I tip my hat to you, Sony, and I'll probably release this on the 13th because I'm excited. But I tip my hat to you, Sony, for having the balls and the foresight to continue to make PlayStation 4s. And I hope, I hope they keep making PlayStation 4s for another decade, because the reality is, there's a lot of places where I think people would be excited for a $300 PlayStation 4. I think that in a lot of other countries outside of the developed West, I think I would be excited if I didn't have a console. I would be ecstatic to get a PlayStation 4. I'm ecstatic to have one. I'm ecstatic to upgrade my hard drive. So I think when you start taking a step back, you start to realize that yeah, it's nice to have the best, but you can still have an amazing experience. And I think this is the time for Sony to really just kind of expand that market share, really into like developing countries. I mean, I would love if I worked for Sony, I would love to see PlayStation 4 just take hold um, in developing countries like India, Latin America, Africa. Dude, I would make it my goal to get a PlayStation 4 in the hands of every family in Africa. You know, I mean, yes, the PlayStation 5 is great, but the reality is if you could get the price of production of a PlayStation 4 down to even half of what it is now, imagine being able to sell PlayStation 4s for like $150. You know, a lot of people, that would bring gaming to a lot more people. And that's what I think games should be accessible to everyone. It shouldn't just be an elite minority, that has thousands of dollars to spend. So those are the only people that can play video games. I don't think that was the point. I think that if in my world, you absolutely would have PlayStation 4 still being made, maybe even PlayStation 3s. Because think about it, if you could, well, I don't know if you, I mean, one generation back, I think. Look, I don't know manufacturing costs, but all I'm saying is if we could get the cost down and get into more people's hands, that's a win-win for everyone. It's a win for the gaming community because there's more people involved, and it's a win for Sony because they expanded their platform and their reach. That's it. I'm excited. I'm excited to be back into this world and of video games, and not just the reality of United States of America, June 2022. Okay, thank you. I love you. I'll talk to you later. I just like messing around, so hopefully I'll look back at these videos 10 years from now and be like, you know what? PlayStation 4 is still around. People are still buying it. I was right about one thing. All right, thank you. I love you.